Jude Bellingham at Chelsea for Enzo Fernandez. Would that be an upgrade or a downgrade in your eyes?
Massive upgrade for Chelsea. Humongous downgrade for Real Madrid. Is this the...
No, I would 100% consider Tonali as one of the best midfielders in the world. We're looking at one of the best sixes in the world.
Enzo Fernandez has attributes that suit the Premier League. He's just not intelligent enough or good enough. Now, he does...
I don't know.
From a goals perspective and assist perspective, he does sometimes get... He does make the...
Rather have Romeo Lavia at Chelsea than Tonali. The way that he breaks the lines, the way that he's so aggressive, and he's a complete player. The problem is that he's never fit. This is a huge problem. Right.
Declan Rice, not the fastest midfielder you've ever seen in the world, but he can get up and down and he also reads the game quite well. Super Mendy, the list goes on. Enzo Fernandez isn't the guy that has that for me.
If you guys are Chelsea fans, massive transfer news in this podcast. And we're kicking it off with reports from Fichajes and AS, or AS, which are Spanish media news outlets. And they suggest that Real Madrid are completely over the hill, madly obsessed with a Chelsea player named Enzo Fernandez. And they believe that he's the missing piece post the Modrić, post the Kroos era. Chelsea originally paid £106 million for him, but Madrid are looking to spend up to 120 million pounds, 140 million euros to capture his signature. There's reports that over the last couple of weeks that Enzo is sick and tired of the London club Chelsea, which is totally understandable. I mean, Chelsea just keep buying young players, no experience, doesn't look to have any ambition to win anything, which is understandable. And plus, they've now hired some gutter man that they've picked up off the street named Liam Rossinho, who's currently getting blasted, especially after his loss to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. So it's understandable that Enzo Fernandez thinks that this club is shit and he wants to go to his dream club, which is, there's images of him when he was younger, wearing a Real Madrid shirt. And he's just tired of London. And it looks like this is picking up a lot of steam over the past week, Neil. Enzo Fernandez, what are you saying?
If it's true, bit rich, Enzo sick of Chelsea. I mean, yeah, I know I go on about his GA output and whatnot, but come on, the eye test tells you Enzo Fernandez goes missing in a lot of games. He's actually below par in a lot of games. So if this is the case, he should be, firstly, he should be putting in better performances. Against Arsenal in the Cup, shocking. He was pants to a man. And there was a lot of poor performances, I would say, mainly from Rossinho. But I think Enzo Fernandez himself in particular didn't shower himself or cover himself in any glory. And if that's the case, do Real Madrid really want this guy? Do they need him? Do they need him, Mark? Is this a move that makes sense for Real Madrid? Forget the money to one side.
I think that a player like Enzo Fernandez would thrive a lot better in a team like Real Madrid, because in the Premier League, like you're right on the eye test. It's because he seems like to slow the game down. He seems like an actual very slow player. He does some once in a while, once a game, twice a game. He does these wonder passes. His position is okay because he's getting into the box and he's scoring goals. It's a tough one because if you have a look at his stats, right, in the Premier League, 23 appearances, 8 goals, 2 assists. In the Champions League, 8 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist. And some of the goals that he scored, he's pretty much single-handedly got Chelsea points on his own. But 120 million, Chelsea would probably consider that because they'll be making a profit. They've got 120 million pounds. Bro, you can now go and get Leonard Carl, who we just spoke about in the previous podcast. We can go out and get Morgan Rogers. We can go ahead and get some other player that we're going to be talking about in this podcast, who I think would be a fantastic replacement for Enzo Fernandez. So make sure you guys watch to the end so you see who the next superstar, a world-class 6 that's been linked with Chelsea Football Club, who I think is going to be even though they play slightly different positions, I'll definitely have this player. But
Mark,
his stats are amazing.
Where does he fit in? Let's go through Real Madrid's midfield. Obviously, yes, you've got Jude Bellingham, right? And he has gone down injured at the moment. But at the moment, you've got Jude Bellingham in Real Madrid. You've got Valverde, you've got Camavinga, you've got Tchouaméni. I don't know who else I'm missing. Guys, let us know in the comments. Enzo Fernandez? I mean, look, he would do better. He would do better. Yeah, but okay, he might do really well compared to what he might be doing at Chelsea. It might suit him better. But will he be an upgrade on anyone they've got right now? On anyone they've got right now, like an actual upgrade.
It's hard, man. Not everyone's suited to the Premier League. We know this already. There's a lot of players that leave the Premier League. They go to other clubs. You look at Anthony. You look at
he is suited to the Premier League. He's just not good enough. You look at Florian Squirts coming in. You think, okay, well, he hasn't been able to handle the physicality. He did it in Bundesliga, but Premier League's different. Enzo Fernandez can handle the physicality in the Premier League. And Enzo Fernandez has attributes to that suit the Premier League. He's just not intelligent enough or good enough. Now, he does...
I don't know.
From a goals perspective and assist perspective, he does sometimes get in... He does make the right movement to get in a position to potentially score goals. But from a defensive point of view, unless he's right in position, he doesn't see the game quickly like... like I say, though, he can see what's unravelling in front of him.
Yeah, he can anticipate position.
Reece James sees the game, right? And I'm just talking about Chelsea here, but if you want to go elsewhere, Declan Rice sees the game. Declan Rice, not the fastest midfielder you've ever seen in the world, but he can get up and down, and he also reads the game quite well. Super Mendy, the list goes on. Enzo Fernandez isn't the guy that has that for me. So I think he does fit the Premier League. I just don't think he's intelligent enough in many ways to be a world-class footballer in any league.
I'm not. I mean, look, he's one of the first names on the Argentinian. Yeah, you are. You are because look, fine. I'm not. Everyone knows. Anyone that watches the podcast knows that both you and I, and I'm a Chelsea fan, not the biggest fans of Enzo Fernandez. We just for that type of money that Chelsea invested and why he was brought in, we're kind of expecting him just to do a little bit more. His stats are actually respectable, but I think that you need to give him just a little bit more credit. I think that. Intelligence-wise, in terms of football IQ, it's not the highest, but it's high enough. I wouldn't,
it's not 120 million.
Pan him. That is the thing. That's spot on, exactly. Very quickly though, whilst we're on that, Jude Bellingham swap deal. We talked about Jude Bellingham in the last podcast because there's rumours, he's not settled there. He's not considered untouchable. Swap Jude Bellingham at Chelsea for Enzo Fernandez. Would that be an upgrade or a downgrade in your eyes? Massive
upgrade for Chelsea. Humongous downgrade for Real Madrid. Is this the second player that you were bringing up in this podcast, Mark?
No. Fine. No.
That's not a bombshell. That's basically, that would be foolish from Real Madrid's point of view. It'd be a massive upgrade for you, right?
I believe so.
You agree with me?
I think that Jude Bellingham, if you build the team around him, right, and you play him as the 10, we know how good he can be. That's what really put him on the map at Real Madrid his first season. They put him as a 10, the creator, the goal scorer, and he absolutely thrived. If Chelsea or whoever managed to sign Jude Bellingham, you put him in the right place. You treat him with love and care. You put his hand around his cock. Sorry. You put his hand around his shoulder. And you get the best out of it.
Disturbing insights into Mark's mind there. But notwithstanding that, I agree with you, by the way. I agree with you. And even if you don't sometimes, Bellingham's the type of guy that can, if he's on it, he can carry a team over the line, right?
He's a leader as well. He's an absolute leader. I need someone in the Chelsea team that can scream and shout. I mean, they say that Chelsea got leaders, but maybe they do in terms of presence. But I also like someone with presence and with vocal capabilities, positioning the players. Yeah, I mean, he's got it. Right, look. Talking about I'm going to tell you guys. So the last couple of weeks, especially the last week, mainly the last day of deadline day, there was a lot of rumours about Arsenal trying to sign Newcastle's Sandro Tonali. Right? It didn't happen. It didn't go through. But since then, Manchester City have now joined the races, and Chelsea have actually joined the races. He's touted as £100 million, 116 million euros. We had a text message on our football group about one of our mates. We're not gonna call him out, but he put a stat. He put a video where. Who is it? Paul Scholes said, I'd rather have Tonali instead of Declan Rice. And he laughed at that. Then you and I responded, we love Tonali. Now, they're a little bit different players, but I would 100% consider Tonali as one of the best midfielders in the world at what he does. I think that if Chelsea manage, or whoever he signs to, we're looking at one of the best sixes in the world, someone who's extremely durable. Okay, he had that 10-match ban for gambling or whatever. Let's put that aside. But he is a player that will transform Chelsea in terms of the way that they play, how he will settle the team down, how he will drive forward and get the rest of the team to drive forward. He's got an 85% completion rate. He's got one assist, but he has created 17 chances with an expected assist XA of 1.58. And that basically suggests that he does the pass before the pass. He's got a couple of knocks, but that makes no difference because even with that, he still carries on playing. There's a lot of, as I said, there's a few teams that are in for him. That this summer is going to be a big summer for Newcastle to hold on to a player like that. I think he's up there. I rate Declan Rice, but I put this guy right next to him, not above him, not below him. But he is that good. What's your thoughts? Because I know you already know Tonali has been majorly linked with Arsenal. What's your thoughts about him moving? Where do you think he's going to go? Do you think he's rated as highly as what everyone else rates him at? Paul Scholes, me.
I rate him. And I really like Tonali. I've already told you this, and I think you and I are on the same page on this, right? Tonali's a top draw player. He is arguably, everyone talks about the Newcastle midfield and the people that get the headlines or typically Bruno Guimaraes. Everyone talks about Bruno, or you hate him in the opposition team, but you love him in your own shirt.
Yeah.
The one I rate above all of them is Tonali. He has got attributes that fit some of the biggest teams in Europe. He should be playing for a big team. No disrespect to Newcastle, and he will be gone this summer. Why will he be gone, Mark? Because a player like that needs to be playing in the best competitions in the world. Newcastle will not be in the Champions League next season. That is a guarantee.
That's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee.
Newcastle will not make top 5 this season. They will not be. You can say you heard it here first. I mean, it's pretty clear they're not going to make it, in my opinion. But anyway, they are just haven't been consistent enough, especially away from home. They've really struggled this season. That's not going to change over the next 13, 14 games, enough to leapfrog Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, whoever else, Villa. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, which means if they don't make Champions League, Tonali is on the move. But where should he go? I've raved for the last 45 seconds about how great a player he is. Now, the question is, where does he suit best? Where does he fit in best? We're talking about Chelsea. Caicedo, he's not going anywhere. He is one of the first names on the Chelsea team sheet. Whatever I say, whatever. I mean, in my opinion, he is, right? How does Tonali ideally fit into your midfield? You're the Chelsea fan. If you get Tonali, how do you want to see you, as Chelsea, set up at the start of next season?
Tonali. No, Caicedo. Look, it all changes, yeah. Like,
you can play him in the 8, by the way. You can.
I'm going to say something which is going to get me, a little bit there. I'd rather have Romeo Lavia at Chelsea than Tonali. I rate Romeo Lavia that highly. I think that when he plays, he transforms Chelsea. They just play different. Okay. The way that he breaks the lines, the way that he's so aggressive. And I think he's a complete player. The problem is that he's never fit. And this is a huge problem, right? If he's not fit, Tonali, it will be Caicedo, Tonali, Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez. Right? That's how I would look at it. If he's going to go to Arsenal, where would he play? You got Zubimendi, you got Rice. You're not going to put him as a 10, as a creator. Would he displace one of them?
No, I don't think he does. I think for Arsenal, look, I like Tonali, as I said, but I also said the key for him is joining the right team, and the right team might be. It could be Man United. It could be whoever.
Man
it depends,
City are in
right?
for him. Man
City are in for him, right?
Let's have a look at
look, Rodri's not the same player. Don't care what anyone says. Man United will have a gap. Casemiro having a good season. Don't get me wrong, but if you start whacking in Tonali in that midfield, let's see where they finish. By the way, these are better fits. They're better fits, though. Those midfields are better fits for Tonali than Arsenal or Chelsea. I like
about
Lavia.
Man City?
Yeah, and he would fit in really well at Man City. Yeah, Tonali would be quality, right? Rodri's on his last legs. You could play him as the 6. He fits into an industrious midfield. They're probably crying out for Tonali. They're probably crying out for Tonali. And if I'm Tonali, I'm thinking, all right, do I want to play next to Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, or do I want to go and, be the next part of, the rebuild at Man City, which is the post-Rodri era? And that's what it will be. It will be the post-Rodri era. He's done.
Right, let us know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed and liked the video, make sure you do that. We'll see you lot in the next one. Thanks for watching.